fan of Mo Better Blues, and if I was playing, it'd be Mo Better, Mo Better. When I saw this, I was like, I want to live like that. No. Awesome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of It Is What It Is podcast. We're back for the summer, and we're heating up with an amazing guest. But before I get into it, you know what you got to do. You want to keep seeing amazing guests like we have on today. You got to support the brother. You know how you support the brother? Subscribe to the YouTube page, YouTube at CV_K, and subscribe to the fitness page, man, at CVMK Global Fitness. Also, not hook up with me, but connect with me on Instagram at CVMK33. That came out totally wrong. CVMK33. Where it goes down, and on the other Instagram page at CVMK_Global, and TikTok CVMK Globe, and where the best fitness drip apparel supplements are at CVMKglobal.store. You know what this is? The best pre-work on the market. Get your superpower, ladies. Oh, wrong print. You trying to get that splash effect? You want to be the beast in the bedroom? I got it for you. This is your own personal supplement for you, for when those times get true. Glow up. And man, you don't want to strike out at the plate. You want to be Barry Bonds in it. Get batter up. And with that being said, LeVar, how you doing today, man?
I'm great, brother. How about yourself?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm here. I'm with you on this podcast. It's gonna be fun. I've been, messing up all day, so it's cool, man. It's I'm just waiting for the next thing, man. But no, everything's been well, man. I'm super excited about another episode, man. Look, I've been following you. I call it a secret fan for a while. You know what I'm saying? I've known that you have this amazing gift to play. I know that you're an amazing saxophonist. I've seen you at your skill, at your work. I've seen the content you produce. I follow you on the gram, but it's like every year you're adding something, because I say you're making the evolution between just being, I'm a musician, or I play for my church, whatever. But now it's like, no, this is a global thing. Like I want the world to hear, my skills. So, and that's really got me excited. I was like, I got to get LeVar on here, man. He got real skills. You know what I'm saying? He's not just one of those, just doing it to be doing it. So, LeVar, first question. Why? I mean, was you forced to play? Like, was it like, hey, we need a saxophonist, we need somebody to play the instruments, and somebody at church? I mean, why did you get into music, man?
I essentially got into music because of my brother. So my brother's a saxophonist. He started playing when he was in junior high. So I was 11 years old and following in his footsteps, and he pretty much just took me under his wing and started teaching me. So I was definitely influenced and driven from my brother. Have a musical family, but my brother was the first to pick up the horn, and he was so passionate about it that it influenced me to want to be a part of that same group.
I see, man. See, I don't, when it comes to the musical arts, that's not where God has gifted me. But not that I don't try, just like, the Lord knows I don't have ulterior motives, man.
We all got callings. We all got callings.
And the Lord saw, he knew I was a fan of Mo Better Blues. And if I was playing, it'd be Mo Better, Mo Better. When I saw this, I was like, I want to live like that. No, but
that's my favorite movie.
Bro, you can't like music and not like Mo Better Blues. Mo Better Blues is ultimate.
That's the classic.
It is a classic. So you talked about, you said your brother inspired you and you continued on this path. And, there's always this kind of notion with musicians, like, is this going to be something you make a career out of? Is this going to be something you just do in pastimes? What is this? Like, what is this drive for you? Explain that to me.
For me, it was like, of course, when I first started really getting better at it, I wanted to do music full time, and that was my drive. Like, I got to do music full time. I want this to be a career. I want to be able to just live in this passion that I have.
Yeah.
But like, the older you get, the more responsibilities you get. It's like sometimes music just wasn't cutting it. So some months I'll make, you know, up here, the next month I'm down here, and just not having consistent money. So like, even right now I'm at work. So it's like, my mindset was like, okay, I can do music full time and kind of like just struggle my way through it and build that way. But for me, it was more about artistic expression. And when you have artistic expression, a lot of times you don't want to be at the helm of someone else. So if I'm just working off whatever another man offers me, then I gotta be willing to take whatever they offer. No matter what the gig is, I gotta accept that gig because this is my livelihood.
Right.
But the way I'm operating now is if I want to do a show, I can fund my own show and cover the overhead costs, book the venue, sell the tickets, do the marketing myself, and then bet on myself and my band to create a fan base that way. But it's hard to be your own private investor if you don't have no capital. So it's like I wanted to be my own investor, my own sponsor, essentially. So I started working. Ever since then, I just like the balance of one, not having to take every gig and end up killing my love for music because I'm playing stuff I don't really want to play or doing gigs I don't want to do. And then two, I want to build my life and have multiple streams of income. So it's like, I don't mind working, but music is still where I can express myself.
I like that. See, that's grit. Like that, I like that flow. I want to be my own investor. I get it, man. Even with like, this podcast, like obviously I got my 9 to 5, love what I do. But I want that late night TV show. I'm coming for Stephen Colbert's spot. Ain't no doubt about it. I done said this 1,000 times. If he ever no him, Trevor Noah, Jimmy, both Jimmy's, Kimmel Fallon, nobody gonna lose their job.
All the late nights better look over their shoulder.
I'm putting somebody, and they ain't gonna put me on Peacock. I'm coming for somebody real late night. No, I'm coming for somebody real spot. So this is what
network
I do until I can do what I do. So
right.
I totally understand. Where I guess the challenge is instrumentation is making a resurgence. Where it was kind of like niche, where like mainstream, but now there's like no dominating sound, if that makes sense, right? Like everything is kind of a hybrid, not a conglomerate, but really, really a very, I would say, blended kind of appeal toward music. I mean, there's a lot of, you'll have R&B songs that will take gospel songs. You'll have rappers now that'll take gospel songs. I mean, there's a lot of layers now to this. And really looking for authenticity, it seems like, is the new gimmick, right? So how do you stand out, man? We talk about building that brand. You talk about, man, I want to build my fan base. Is it the what audience are you trying to aim for? Is it the little Dirks, the little G Herbo, or you trying to take Kenny G's spot? I mean, what's going on?
No, definitely not. You kind of hit on it because I mean, when you look at music as a mainstream music, it all kind of sounds the same because they're trying to sell as much as they can. So very little deviation from what's trendy. That's where the money is. So it's like, if you think about it, when you think about jazz artists and that genre, almost every jazz artist, their stage name is their real name. Like John Coltrane, Branford Marsalis, even Kenny G is like their stage name is also their real name. And I always felt like part of the reason of that is when you're dealing with instrumentation, you have to find your voice before you're able to start speaking. Like before you expect to gain an audience or a crowd or a following, you first have to know, what does my voice sound like? You have to find yourself. And then you have to be bold enough to walk in that voice. So for me, like, I don't really have a drive to really sound like anyone specific. Like I said, my brother, I don't even play like my brother, and he spent 5-6 years like mentoring me and developing me. But when you hear us play, we sound completely different because once I got my foundation from him, I spent years playing in my room to find what my voice is. What do I sound like? And I always want to sound like me. So like I feel like the thing that drives the following that I do have and is I'm always going to be me. I'm never going to sound like anyone else. I'm not going to try to imitate anyone else's sound just to get notoriety. Like I said, like I love throwing my own shows because with me and my band, we go off whatever the spirits say. Like whatever the flow of the music is, that's where it's going. Like we may not have all the hits, like it may not be as technical and difficult music, but when you hear it, you're gonna feel it. And if that song feels good, we may literally play one song for 20 minutes because it just feels good and we'll sit in it. So like if you leave my show saying you felt what I played, then I consider myself a success.
Shirts on or shirts off? You want to look and feel your best. Summer's here. You know how you looked at. To be at your best, the best drip, best supplements. I got with me the best pre-workout on the market. Superpower only at www.cv as in Vernon mkglobal.store. It's shirts on or shirts off. You want to look and feel your best. Best intro and post-workout recovery. You say saucy only at www.cvmkglobal.store. I like that. If you leave my show saying that you felt what I played, I consider it success. Is there, you talked about that authenticity, you talked about finding your own sound, making sure that there's a preservation of uniqueness, right? Like when people hear and see you, they get you. They don't get this fabricated idea of what you should be. They get the real you. Do you find it difficult to have patience? And what I mean by that, a lot of times people don't know it's great. I won't say it's too late, not because I think that's cliche, but it takes time for people to catch on and be like, man, that's, by the time we catch up to a trend, it's already a year, 2 years already in the making, right?
Yeah.
So like, especially with dealing with common audiences, I think that's the best way to say it, right? Like
the masses, like
right.
Dealing with the masses.
Then the masses, like, do you feel like it's like they don't understand what's developing, the undercurrent of to what I'm saying is real musicianship? Like we're kind of even with like singers, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I like people who can sing. I don't like studio voices. I think all studio voices sound the same. I don't really like the auto-tune effect. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and then you need to be hoarse and raspy, like I won't sing it. I told
just the real.
I said if I could sing like anybody, it'd be James Brown. Like, like I want to sound so unique that when you hear it, you're like, yeah, that's Cody. So how do you deal with waiting for the right response?
Well, I feel like it's not really a right response.
Okay.
So it's like, and this is something I'm working on myself, is like I'm trying to get out of the mindset and habit of saying that music is whack. Like if you hear a rapper or you hear a certain song, I automatically be like, oh my God, that's horrible. Like that's trash. I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying that and thinking that, because instead I'm saying that's not for me. Because the beautiful thing about music is it's not one size fits all. That may be someone's go-to song, and to me, I'm like, that man ain't saying nothing. Like, to me, I'm feeling like that music is horrible. It's subpar music. Right. Same thing with musicianship and everything. It just may not be for you. So it's like, there was a time where it's like I used to be stressed out. Like, am I whack? Am I trash? trash. Like, what's going on? What's the disconnect? But then I just had to kind of have faith in God's timing. Like, the people that's supposed to be there is going to be there when they're supposed to be there. The people that hear it, I get such great response off the people that hear it that feeds me like, okay, I'm doing something right because it's reaching who it's supposed to reach. So it's like I legit had shows that I put my money in, I promoted, and didn't get the response from people that I thought I should have got, and it became a discouragement. To now I'm at the point where it's like I'm putting this out because I know God put this in me, this gift, this feeling, this music. And when I get on stage, I'm playing straight from my heart, and it's become a therapy to me. So now it's just like a benefit that you joined in my therapy session, but it's like it's gonna get out one way or another, and whoever's supposed to hear it, I'm just trusting and believing that God's gonna let them hear it.
I like that, man. You know what we need? We need a tag team. We need to do show on the road. Let me open up for you. Give me 10 minutes. Let me do my. You've already heard me do my spiel. Let me get 10 minutes of myself and bring you to the stage. We're gonna become YouTube famous real quick.
I'm with it, man. We can go on tour. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, you know, when it comes to the business side of it, there are a lot of different avenues now. Some would say it's easier because you don't have to wait for somebody to rubber stamp you. Others would say because of that, it's harder because there's so many voices now that want to be heard. You know, between I don't even know some of the Spotify, DJ, what is it called, like disco, whatever, and trying to get plays, and I mean even with like a podcast, trying to put it on different platforms and trying to investigate audiences and trying to partner up with this person or that to increase viewer and membership. Besides the music aspect of it, right? Because the music is obviously one thing. But the business is how we, eat. right. So, tell me about that, because you're your own basically boss. You're your own entrepreneur. Walk me through the business model of that.
So it's definitely with music, it's a million avenues to make money and to do what you want to do. Now we got stuff like something as simple as TikTok. You could be making thousands of dollars just by gaining an audience in that way. When I was in Georgia, I met with some friends and they was telling me about like, man, you need to get on Reddit. And I'm like, I didn't even know what Reddit was, but they was like, if you get on Reddit and do this, what you just did on stage weekly, you could be making this amount of money and this amount of money. So it's like, it's definitely, in my opinion, I feel like it's easier to make money now to do whatever it is that you want to do, because you can gain an audience. You can go on Twitch right now and gain an audience to do what you want to do. So the business side of it is like, it's a lot more opportunity and avenue. It just depends on what you want to do. For me, I feel like my sound and like the way that I play doesn't really translate as effectively virtually, like online, on the screen. Like it doesn't feel the same as an introduction. Like if the first time you ever heard me was on a live, it probably didn't. It's my own personal opinion. I feel like it's not right, because I just feel like live music is the epitome of the musical experience. Like even when I used to grow up listening to gospel albums and you hear the studio recording and then you hear that live album, didn't nobody listen to the studio recording no more. That live album became the most popular version because that energy you get from the live is different. So it's like, I love the live experience. That's the kind of thing I kind of drive for. And a lot of people tell me like, you should do TikTok. You should do all these things. I'm just not really interested I don't want to be social media famous. Like I don't really have that kind of drive in that arena to put that time in. Sure. That's probably an area that I can grow in, probably in the business, just to gain an audience. But most of as far as business wise, almost all of my opportunities come from word of mouth. Like with COVID season hit the last 2 years, I stayed booked doing gigs in people's living rooms and kitchens because they came to a show, they having a romantic dinner, and they just want some live music in that kitchen. Wow. And I got to give them a sign like, hey, give me a sign when you want me to leave, because y'all getting a little too close. I don't want to be a part of this that deep. But it's like, you never know, what the opportunity is. So it's like a lot of my business comes from word of mouth and just referral stuff like that. But my main passion is creating the stage and then getting to present that unfiltered, raw, audible emotion on stage. That's where I'm mainly passionate about.
What's up? I'm super pumped. Just got done with another workout. It's your boy CVMK33 connecting on Instagram and on the business page of CVMK_global. You know how I get through it. You know how I get that pump looked. Best pre-workout on the market. www.cvmkglobal.store. I like that. That's interesting. I just said I was doing private shows in people's kitchens and living rooms.
Oh
that
yeah,
is,
it can get wild. It can get wild real fast. Valentine's Day dinner on the balcony, and it's like, all right, give me the sign when you want me to turn the Spotify on, because I don't want to witness nothing. I don't want to witness. I'm glad I was able to encourage him, though.
Hey, you have the ministry of growth. You know, some people need encouragement to grow. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, like, I have the ministry of growth. Whatever direction you gotta grow in, that's what I'm blessed to give.
Just increase.
It makes total sense. Because I think what COVID did is we all had to get creative. You know, like this right here is birthed out of COVID, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I was doing it audio way. It was more like, radio format and, audio only. And then I was like, no, I want to go visual, and then I started to investigate and invest in how do I make this more polished? How do I make more graphics? How do I make it feel like, something you want to be a part of versus just like, oh, it's another podcast. Somebody speaking out the side of their mouth. I don't know what they talk about, So I wanted that energy. I wanted that feel. And right. The only way, to do it is to kind of go through that process, right? And that's kind of how you start, developing like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do it. I can do it like this. I can do it like this.
Right.
So you released a music video, or you put something on Instagram, and I understand social media advertisement is exhausting, particularly when you're doing it yourself. It is very exhausting trying to figure, I gotta post again. I gotta edit this. I gotta make this caption. It is very.
I ain't got it in me.
Sit there. I've been sitting there doing my videos. I'd be like, yo, CVMK Global. I've been saying the same thing over and over. It's just in a different workout t-shirt. Like it's very exhausting, and it drains. But it's absolutely necessary to reach people that you haven't been.
Yeah.
So you put out some content. You shared the audio with me. I enjoyed it. I saw you shared. I think you shared it as well to Facebook. And I felt like people received it well. I think they saw another side of you, right? Like, where has this side always been hiding? Why aren't you? And I get, you said like, that's not me, but and unfortunately in this society, it's like you gotta scream to be heard, right or wrong, right or wrong, right? So why haven't we seen more of the LeVar magic?
Yeah, the LeVar magic is hilarious. I think a big part of that is I'm a perfectionist in a lot of ways.
Sure.
So it's like my project. I got a project I've been working on for like 2 years, and every time I think I'm done, I let one of my engineering friends hear it and it just don't sit right, or I listen to it again and it just doesn't sit right. I'm just a perfectionist in that way. As far as releasing content and releasing stuff, like, I just want it to be as right as possible when I release it, so that, like you said, this is a lot of first impressions. Every time you release something or post something, or that's could potentially be someone's first impression of you. True. And if you jag it, it's like some people will write you off that first listen. So that's kind of hard to do when releasing. So a part of that is I just got to get out of my own head. One of the artists I look up to, in an interview, he said, like, you don't die with your thoughts within you. Like, he puts out EPs constantly of just music. He said some of the songs that he feels like is his worst songs he ever made, he'll have fans reaching out to them like that's their favorite song. And he's like, I would have potentially died with that thought in me and never got it out. So that's what encourages me now to like, okay, I got to start formulating my thoughts and then just spreading it. And like I said, whoever is for is going to hear it and they're going to embrace it. I just got to get out of my own head with it. So that's part of the reason. It's just like I keep mulling over stuff, thinking I can perfect it, when in all actuality, it's never going to be perfect to my standards. So
look,
that's a big part of it.
A summer concert, we make it. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be wild. We just got to get a venue. I'll MC for you, man. Look, all I need is 10 minutes. Let me bring my products on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, network. Go ahead, network.
You know what I'm saying? We can make this thing work, and they're gonna leave entertained. They're gonna leave fed. They're gonna leave entertained and enjoy themselves. It's gonna be a whole vibe.
Right.
I got one more question. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on here. Thank you just for sharing your abilities with us and the gift that God has given you. But I always ask this question. I said, look, any true creative has always something on the horizon. There's always something. You mentioned that you're working on a project. It's been taking you 2 years. But there's always this thing that's like, I got to get this out, right? Like, what is that for you? Like when summer officially hits, what do you want to share with the people?
So it's one of the things I've been driven to do is partnering with people that I like really enjoy their music. So like you talked about singing and their voice and stuff like that. Like even now I'm coordinating plans to do certain things. Like one of the things that I did is even during COVID is I would take money from smaller gigs. Like I'm doing these $100, $200, $300 gigs, and I'll take that money and then reinvest it into myself or the band. So it's like we need a new PA system. I take the money from private gigs and I bought our PA system. Or like now what I've been saving up for is, like you said, I got a live show I'm planning to do for a live recording for Sweetest Day in October. And I got a lot of my friends and people that I grew up with that I just admire their sound, that I want to be a part of that. But I got, like I said, my project that I've been working on personally, I plan to release that this summer. And then one of my producers that I grew up with in my hometown that ended up blowing up and producing for everybody, he kind of helped me get out of my own head. So like he'll have me come lay some sax on some beat that some huge artist want him to produce, and he'll like, hey, come lay sax on it. And usually with him, because we grew up together, I'm not taxing him like, hey, you got to pay me this much to come lay sax. Right. We've built up that relationship. So the last one I just did came to the studio. He just gave me 8 beats he had sitting on deck. And that kind of got me out of my mind. It's like, just create. And then once you create, you'll see like all of this stuff will just start opening for you just by creating. So I have those 2 projects I'm planning to release this summer. And it'll be my first actual album that is a full album of myself. And then a first joint EP with my producer friend that's just straight me having fun on some more conventional type beats. Because a lot of my stuff I produce myself, so it's definitely going to sound like me. Right. But a lot of his beats are more like mainstream hip hop, R&B type beats that I have just my flavor on them. So that's kind of my main goal right now, is to just stop procrastinating, stop stressing out over and constantly trying to be perfect, and just release what you got.
That's it. Release what you got. Where can they get the album, man? Like, where is it? A website? Where can we go and get it?
Oh, it's going to be on all streaming platforms. So I released 3 singles from that my album that's going to be coming out. They're on all streaming platforms right now. If you search LeVar Kellogg, you'll find them. They were 2 of them were I produced myself, and then one of them was produced by a friend. But 3 of them are out right now. Altogether, it's going to be released on all streaming platforms. Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. Look, thank you so much, LeVar. Where can the people connect with you, man? They're like, look, I dig what you do. I know you put the music out on all platforms. Is on iTunes, is on YouTube Music, is on Tidal, is everywhere. But I want to connect with you. Where can the people connect with you, man?
You can find me at LeVar Kellogg Music on Instagram. LeVar Kellogg on Facebook. Pretty much LeVar Kellogg is everywhere. So like, I don't really have a, like I said before, like my real name is my stage name. I want my voice to be my voice. So LeVar Kellogg is where you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Mainly if I have stuff coming up, I definitely share it on those social media platforms. You can connect with me through there.
Y'all, connect with LeVar. His real name is his mononym, is where he goes by. That's his real voice. Hit the man up Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, however he is there. And if you want to keep seeing amazing influencers, amazing leaders, amazing artists, musical talents like my man LeVar, big shout out to you, man. I see you in the gym too, hitting leg day. If you want to keep seeing the guy, you know what you got to do, man. Subscribe to the YouTube page at YouTube at CV. That is Cody Vernon space Kelly CVK. We're all great content is seen, heard, or felt. Hit me up on Instagram. Follow me, CVMK33. Follow the business page, CVMK_global. And go to the website where the best drip is, www.cvmkglobal.store, where you can get, and if you haven't seen it, it's because you're not there. That's why you got to get it. You can get all those things plus more, plus protein, plus BCAAs. I haven't even showed that. You can get everything on that website.
That's that exclusive. You ain't even pull that out yet.
I got to pull it out for you, yo. Go to the TikTok page, CVMK Globe. I'm trying to think, do I have any other pages? Look, everywhere where we have a page, Snapchat, we are there. It's under CVMK Global. Get yours today. Follow, man. It's designed for you and it's local owned. It's your boy. You know who I am. Anyway, this has been an amazing episode, y'all. Shout out to the man LeVar. Shout out to you. I appreciate my guests. And until next time, guys. Thanks.